Hello. You've caught me trying to make a decision. Oh, I don't know.
Deciding things. Why is it so difficult? Why can't every choice be between two distinct options, the future consequences of which are blindingly obvious from the start?
Why can't I just have £1 million? Why can't we all just eat cake forever and never get fat? Why can't I beat all the Dark Souls bosses on my first try?
Because life isn't easy, is it? Especially when you're faced with one of these 7 heart-stopping dilemmas only gamers will understand. Number 1, deciding where to allocate your skill points. Oh, the pressure! Especially if you're playing a game where you know you won't be able to max out every branch of the skill tree.
You know, you've got decisions to make, haven't you? You can't be a master of stealth and magic and heavy armor and swords and axes all at the same time.
There's a level cap and you've got a limited amount of skill points to spend across your game. Who else spends hours poring over the skill tree at the start of such an RPG, working out the optimum route up the trunk while furiously calculating whether or not you'll have enough skill points to unlock all the abilities you want? The dilemma is essentially you having to decide whether you want to excel in a few skills or be average at lots of them by the time you reach the level cap. In Skyrim, for example, even if I set out to definitely be good at magic this time, I always load up stealth, archery, light armor, lockpicking, smithing.
I exclusively wear homemade armor in Skyrim. I mean, come on.
While making myself semi-decent with a one-handed weapon and a shield. Skills I always neglect, and this goes for all games, not just Skyrim.
Luck and speech. Who ever puts skill points in luck and speech? I mean, you don't need luck when you've got a massive sword, do you?
Our next dilemma is quite a specific one, and it applies mainly to the Soulsborne games, and that is, do you trust the messages left behind by other players?
I remember the first time I read "amazing treasure ahead" and sprinted forward like, ho 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 ho, I can't wait to get that.
And then down you go. This is a dilemma though, because in Dark Souls, maybe more so than in any other game, you get lots of other players that genuinely want to help other people. You know, it's one of those rare occasions where instead of gleefully wrecking noobs and then teabagging them into next week, pro players enjoy imparting their wisdom to newcomers, often popping up to guide first-timers through those early boss fights before seeing them on their way.
I mean, I've got no idea because I suck at Dark Souls, but I imagine the feeling is similar to that of a proud parent as you watch the noob you've trained up all of a sudden blossom into a refined, Soulsborne warrior.
Then on the flip side, you've got people who like to invade others' games and take great pleasure in hunting down other players and ruining their day. I've had this happen to me on numerous occasions and it makes me furious. Which is why, getting back to our main point, when you come across a message on the floor that coaxes you forward with the promise of loot, it's such a dilemma. Who's written the message? An honourable pro who just wants to help people out? Or a devious troll who wants to see you fail? I mean, to be honest, what does it matter? I'm going to die at some point anyway, probably very soon, so let's just go for it. Entry 3, dialogue choices. Oh good lord, these can be tough.
It's never a simple case of what would I like to say right now, is it? Because you've got to be thinking about the potential narrative consequences of your choices further down the line.
Games like Detroit Become Human get super intense, where you know every decision you make, no matter how seemingly insignificant, will have major ramifications as the story unfolds. You'll be there, your emotions running high, and all of a sudden you've got to act, you've got to say something that could mean life or death for another character, or even your character.
It's testament to the moral and ethical ambiguity present in modern video game stories that we often don't know which choice is right and which is wrong.
Going back to Detroit, there are even scenes where you'll have multiple characters you like and are invested in whose interests directly conflict with one another. So if you played this scene where Connor is hunting Kara and Alice,
and don't forget you may never even have got to this scene depending on the choices you made earlier,
the internal conflict it sparks is just amazing. You want everyone to succeed, but they can't. What do you choose? Number 4 is one heck of a dilemma. When your friend asks if they... Oh, I can't even say it.
Dave,
Yes.
are you by any chance finished with your copy of Overcooked 2?
Yes.
Do you mind if I borrow it?
What do you do? You hate when people borrow your games. They're always given back to you late and with fingerprints on. But Rosie is your good friend. If you say no, it would be really, really rude and hurt Rosie's feelings. What's more important, your game or your friendship? Decide!
I'm sorry, Rosie, but I don't lend out my games anymore. I'm really sorry,
it's easier just to lie, to be honest. I already lent it to someone else, or I only own that one digitally. Problem solved.
Next up, a dilemma that's especially tough if you, like me, fall smack bang in the middle of the Venn diagram for people who are indecisive and who like to pick up all the loot in RPGs. T-junctions, especially in dungeons. Oh my god, the pain of this. You know, one way is the dead end with the treasure chest. This is the way you want to go first. The other way is risky because go too far down it and you might trigger a story cutscene from which there is no going back.
No chance to backtrack and grab that loot. You may as well just start the whole game again if that happens.
Often what will happen in these situations is you'll go one way, find no loot, and then double back the other way, but there's seemingly nothing down here either, and look at that corridor layout. That looks like the road to story cutsceneville, if I am not mistaken. Right, back the other way, the dead end with the loot must be somewhere.
And so you swing like a sad JRPG loot-sniffing pendulum between nothing and nothing, sometimes for hours on end, until eventually you either strike gold or strike story.
Entry 6. This is such a tough decision. When do you start New Game Plus? You've maxed out your character, you're super powerful, have completed all the quests, and you're quite enjoying your time strutting around the world, just knowing that whatever you come up against is going to be cut down in seconds.
It's the payoff for all your hard work. You put the hours in, now you get to enjoy being an untouchable badass.
But you can feel it calling you. New Game Plus. All your abilities, maybe all your weapons, but you'll have to start again. From the beginning. You know it's the only way to attain true power. Probably you'll need to do it if you're going for the Platinum Trophy. But letting go of the world you've carved is so tough. It's like if you've written a novel, which is a mammoth undertaking, and you get to the end, you finish writing it, you're an infinitely better writer than when you started and the novel is done.
But you know, if you started writing it all over again with your newfound writing skills, that what you produced the second time round would be so much better.
And so you chuck that first draft away and start over. It's both devastating and thrilling. Casting aside your progress, all so you can better yourself.
Either that or you do New Game Plus on a separate save and leave your old 100% completed save just where it is. Should have thought of that at the start, to be honest.
Our final entry is quite possibly the toughest dilemma any gamer will face. Picture the scene. You've just finished a game. You're feeling really good about yourself. You're doing the I've just finished a game walk. You're on top of the world. Until you realise you've now got a decision to make. It's a simple one, yet at the same time so very, very difficult. What game do you start next? Panic strikes you. You're immediately transported to your internal mind theatre, a library of incredible titles dancing before your eyes, each one flamboyantly jostling for position, equally deserving of your time.
Oh, they're all so good. What do I play?
What often happens to me in these situations is I spend more time wondering what game to play next than actually playing games. Entire evenings flicking through my library, brilliant game after brilliant game after brilliant game, until eventually I give up and shout people off mountains in Skyrim for the 672nd time. Please tell me I'm not alone in this. The Indecision, not the shouting people off the mountains in Skyrim thing. I know that's weird. There we are. 7 impossible dilemmas only gamers will understand. Can you think of any others? Let us know in the comments. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video and click that notification bell so you never miss another Friday feature. Thanks for watching and see you next week.
For the players.